MonopolyMan take out Mouse Rat earlier on. I thought that was going to be damn near undoable, at the very least on Wi-Fi, with all the multi-hits that Pikachu had. And then we saw him just constantly, we saw him break Straw Hat Zone, we saw him constantly break through Pikachu's aggression and just Pikachu's options. He played at such a distance constantly where he knew what Pikachu would and wouldn't have been able to do. This is a Ryu who clearly knows matchups, who clearly studies them. So normally, if this were many other Ryus, I would say this is going to be so hard because he's not going to be able to use focus at all. Spin Dash is just going to eat up everything. BluStriker is just going to be able to run away and make it so hard for Ryu, make it so hard for MonopolyMan to be able to do anything. And we could still potentially see that. But we saw this guy plow through two very difficult matchups in order to get here. So clearly this is a Ryu who knows matchups. Clearly, if this is a Ryu who knows matchups, he's going to know to the letter one of his worst ones in Sonic the Hedgehog. So I am very anxious to see how MonopolyMan is going to be able to, climb this potential mountain here to be able to take out a character who can be a little bit of a demon for Ryu, but I'm serious, man. And I think if there's any Ryu who's going to be able to do it, it's this guy, as he already takes the first down to Hockey.
Yeah, he's gonna have to make sure that all of the hits that he takes are pretty much inconsequential at this point, because he's sitting at 171%, and MonopolyMan is about to make this ostensibly an even game. So I don't really like the odd to that, but excuse me, just go ahead and show Ryu him right off of the top. MonopolyMan, he looked at the rules and he uppercutted the damn book. That's what happened.
No.
Look, I don't know what to tell you either. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying it's ethical. I'm saying that's what happened.
Not ethical. You can't tell me there was anything ethical about that.
No, there was definitely some that was not a legitimately claimed stock. That stock was not fair trade. No.
Definitely not in the Geneva Convention.
Not even a little bit, but
my God, but that was such a beautiful play. Real talk, man, able to cancel that aerial into the up B, a thing that Ryu was not able to do in prior Smash games. And before, the rage was a lot stronger, but he was only able to do it on the ground. Now you have this game in which they gave him the ability to cancel his aerials on or off shield into his special attacks. Beautiful stuff. Getting that true sure you can confirm in the air now. Vamos, MonopolyMan. Out here, showing you what he can do in this first game already. I'm telling you, man, this guy, he clearly, I don't think he cares about matchups. I don't think he cares about Wi-Fi. I don't think he cares. I just don't think he cares. He killed him at 60. I don't think he cares.
He cares about two things on this planet, and that's these hands. I don't know how else to describe that, because you can go ahead and look back at the amount of time that game took. Out of the, original 7 minutes or something? That was ridiculously fast. I think it ended at about 5:38 left in the match. So that's, a minute 22 seconds. That was an 88-second match. And that's a little dumb, if we're being completely honest with ourselves.
Have you ever heard a sea monkey scream, Chief?
I don't want to know. So,
well, I imagine it sounds like a dying hedgehog. Fortunately for us, we got to hear that sound 3 times in a row. It's been very quick succession. When is the last time you heard of a match? What's the last time you heard of a match with Wi-Fi Sonic taking 88 seconds?
I would rather not think about that. Okay, so it was. I'm sorry about that.
Doesn't happen.
Did I say 536 or 538 or 638?
For what? What context?
Oh, for the time of the match.
Oh, I heard you say 88 seconds.
Okay, because if it ended at 5, then it was actually like 2 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel the need to correct myself when I get my math wrong, and I know it's weirdly pedantic, but whatever. Either way,
we're seeing flashbacks by saying stuff like that.
Yeah. So either way, what we're talking about,
that was almost dirty. Down air after the spin dash. Oh God. Oh, he's able to stock anyway, though, reaching down with the long range of that forward smash. Good stuff to BluStriker, taking the first one over MonopolyMan.
And yeah, this is the exact kind of swing of momentum that you want to sort of indulge or drill into your opponent's mind, is that you do not want them to think that you are, hesitating. You don't want them to think that you're going to start playing a little bit more lax. You want to make sure that you are balls to the wall at all times, and even if that means overextending a little bit, you got to make sure that they know that you are the blue blur and you did not come to play any games. You just come here to play Smash.
Dude,
I stand by that. I don't care.
If MonopolyMan wins this game, I'll eat my plant puppet.
I will. Wait, seriously?
Maybe.
Okay, so you recorded that, clipped that, cool. So anyways, on with
so, I'm gonna have to eat my words regardless.
I mean, you're being live streamed, and also MonopolyMan just took a stock.
Yes, that he did with that beautiful up smash placement off of the neutral air, and now you have him standing on the platform, still in a beautiful position to be able to take this. And if I were BluStriker, you don't have to feel too ashamed of camping, man. I mean, Sonic as a whole, if you want to describe his playstyle, he is considered the hit-and-run archetype of of characters in a platform fighter. He runs in, gets that damage with his very good semi-invincible move, and then runs away to be able to continue the onslaught later on, because he's the fastest character in the game. He's got that to a T. And right there, you see him bouncing off the shield with the homing attack and then running afterwards and then homing attacking right back in because he knows it's safe to do that once again. It's just the kind of option that Sonic was designed to be able to get. Thank God I do not have to cry myself to sleep tonight choking on felt from a piranha plant puppet that a child left at a tournament once, because that is BluStriker taking that second game and putting himself on the board in this set. We are 1-all, my friends.
Believe it or not, that is not a euphemism. He actually did find a puppet. So, as we do go into Game 3, and yeah, that would have been bad. You eating a felt puppet and developing Pica or something like that. Not great. But as we go into Game 3, I did notice obviously a shift in tact from BluStriker. But what are you noticing from MonopolyMan that he was trying to throw out? Was it looking like more of the same, or did you try to see him get a little too cute with it? Because I'm not really sure if that was MonopolyMan going away from his guns or BluStriker kind of just realizing what was happening and making wise of the situation.
I will say, my friend, if he was trying to get too cute with it, I would say he would have been going for a lot more crazy options. I feel like he would have been going for a lot more raw Shoryus or more of the ones that he had in the air. But I don't know if he was just feeling himself that first game or if he just, the situations were created because of any bad extensions from BluStriker. I gotta say, didn't see anything too cute to cause that destruction that was that second game, Stu. I feel like BluStriker just did a much better job at poking through Ryu's zone, making sure he didn't, get too close enough to be able to have to deal with focus attack or any of Ryu's strong moves that would just easily take priority over Sonic's. I feel like in that game, like BluStriker for the first half at least, just played a much better version of aggressive Sonic, and Ryu just wasn't able to deal with the multi-hits from that closer mid-range. And that, at the other time, just to say, when he got Ryu off the level, he was able to gimp him with those, what am I trying to say here, with those up B, those trampolines, the springs, thank you, Brain, for those springs to be able to get around them, and he did miss his tech on that last one to be able to win that game. So, when it comes to cute stuff, I didn't really see any, I really don't think MonopolyMan felt himself too much that game. I think BluStriker did some solid downloading and was able to play at a much more decent mid-range against MonopolyMan. And then once he had him in the higher percent, he's Sonic the Hedgehog, my friends. He's the one who didn't have to approach. What I saw from BluStriker in that last game is that he just took advantage of the true hit-and-run nature of Sonic the Hedgehog, which has that forward tilt to that strong F tilt to upbeat Shoryuken takes the stock. Which, to see from that second game, BluStriker just did such a better job at playing that hit-and-run game, which, is just how Sonic, frankly, was designed to be played ever since his conception as a Smash character back in Brawl, and then his buff as one from Brawl over to Smash 4. So to answer your question, TLDR, no, I don't think MonopolyMan did any, necessarily cute things or too many overextensions or anything like that. I think BluStriker just got a pretty solid download in that second game.
That's fair enough. I guess I did kind of get that notion as well, but I don't even necessarily think that BluStriker is doing anything wrong here in this game number 3, but MonopolyMan has made some pretty strategic adaptations. But he's also relying on his guns. He knows what his strengths are, and he's not willing, or excuse me, he's not necessarily all that keen on having to lean away from them, because he knows this is loser's final. Loser goes home, winner goes on. You need to make sure that if you're not confident in your game plan now, then when are you going to be confident in it? When do you think it will be ready to win you a tournament? You have to see it out to its end at this point, and what better way to test it than against one of you on paper, one of your worst matchups.
Mm-hmm. Very true, my friend, very true. And speaking of this worst matchup, I mean, BluStriker is the one who is down in it right now, but he is trying his hardest with these onslaught edge guards, man. I love the coverage of BluStriker. I love his aggression that he's going for in this matchup. I love when he just gets in his face, reverses a spin dash, spams a back air in his face, and then runs in with dash attack when he feels like it's time for the zone to be broken. And he just has to try and do pretty much. Oh, is that Tatsumaki takes the stock? He needs to try to do any sorts of semblance of creative options, and that's one of the beautiful things about Smash. When you're the one who's down as that back air takes the stock, the one who's in the lead doesn't have to approach if he doesn't want to. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But technically, if you're the one in the lead, you can just run the clock if you'd like to. It is on BluStriker. It is on the person who is down in stocks, who is down in percent in the game, to try to come up with creative ways to get in, creative options to be able to force through the zone, creative punishes to be able to tack on the damage that he needs to. Right now, that's on BluStriker because he's the one who's down. And, MonopolyMan is just doing such a good job at holding his ground, putting out the Tatsus when he has to. BluStriker breaking that zone every now and again with a spin dash or a dash attack. For the most part, BluStriker is the one. I'm not going to say it, but for the most part, MonopolyMan is the one who's doing a good job at holding this ground as the damage slowly seeps on, and you're dead because you decided to hit Ryu's focus with a solid hit move rather than a multi-hit. You got to remember, even if you have multi-hits, that move is always, always, always on deck. You got to know when to use them. You got to know when to not overextend and press a button, and what situations Ryu can use that move out of. Because it doesn't matter if you have multi-hits if you ain't going to use them.
No, absolutely. And what I was noticing more than anything is if you are going to be speeding around like that, eventually you're going to have to tack on some meaningful damage. And it seemed like MonopolyMan at some point just kind of stopped respecting that and was like, you know what? I'm not really afraid of you. I'm going to get in. I'm going to take my stocks, and that's going to be that. So now as we go into game 4, MonopolyMan going to have to be just a little bit more careful, especially as we go to Unova. They gotta go fast coming out. Oh, now you know it's on. BluStriker, the war cry of his people.
Oh, you love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. The "you're too slow, gotta go fast" Sonic the Hedgehog out here with his Kree to the Hedgehog people. Now let's just see what he does with it. We're on Unova, another small stage like Smashville, but not as tiny. I believe it's just as tiny, if not tinier, in terms of blast zones, but in terms of the actual layout of the stage, I believe it is a little bit bigger than Smashville, just slightly in terms of its actual width. So Sonic will have a little bit more room to be able to, play that sort of distance game here, because over on Smashville, yeah, dude, range. Yeah. I'm telling you, the range of that move is nuts.
If he doesn't have the room, he'll make it. He'll make some damn room.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
It's like letting out a fart. It's just like clearing the whole space at the party. You know what I'm saying?
Let's not. So,
damn that guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That is explains quite a bit actually. So, anyways, we go to game number. Continue on with game number 3. BluStriker throwing out a lot of buttons. Not necessarily sure why, but you gotta read movement, I suppose. Whatever. You're doing it. You're there.
You're doing it for the blue blurs of the world. You're doing it for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, coming soon to at-home digital movies or theaters, depending on when it drops. But anyway,
Sonic 2: The Quickening.
Yeah, you love to see it. Anyway, we're here on Unova.
Oh my god! So they're gonna get a third one, and it's going to be called Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles.
Dude, that's hype. I would love that.
Like, I would love it if it wouldn't become insufferable in the hands of mainstream memedom.
All right, I agree with that. We can talk about that in a bit, though. The time for talking is over.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's time to push buttons.
There you go. We'll talk about that's probably going to be the lead on the Gloves Off podcast. So
you didn't even get that. I hate you.
Oh,
anyway,
no.
we're on Unova. We're on Unova, which is the small stage, but it is slightly bigger for Sonic to have a little more room getting around. Smashville was a really, really good counterpick on the part of MonopolyMan because he wants less space for Sonic to be able to run around. And the reason he wants less space, has a beautiful tech off the trampoline, secures his way on the way back there. The thing is, you know, with a small stage like Smashville, as that F-tilt takes the stock, Sonic's not going to have as much room to really run around and play his game, or camp Ryu if he has to, because obviously the best way to not deal with Ryu up close is to camp him when you have a lead, and Sonic players love to do that regardless. Smashville is one of the tiniest stages, if not the smallest in our current legal rule set. He doesn't have as much room to do that here. Here, the blast zones are still small, so he'll still be able to kill early if he wants, but it has a little bit longer width-wise of a layout for Sonic to be able to run around. Ryu wants less space for Sonic to be able to run around, just so he'll have like less space for him to run away from Ryu's giant, you know, destructive hitboxes. Now,
exactly.
He's got small space, but he's got small blast zones, but not small space to deal with it. So Sonic can kill early here. He can still die early here, but he's got a lot more room, in a sense, to be Sonic the Hedgehog. You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right, and it really is all about how you, it's where the rubber meets the road, and the more road there is, the more rubber than Sonic can put to it, and that is rubber going straight into the midsection of Ryu, and BluStriker taking this to a Game 5, a spot in Grand Finals on the line, and one of these two will be forced to go home.
Forced. It's a rough one, man, but, you know, it's going to happen. Let's take a look at this replay. One of these players will have to go down, both of them getting one step closer to doing it, and kablam! Oh, beautiful back air out of the spin dash jump right there. I love when Sonics do that. I love when they mix up their options out of the spin dash jump. Just creates a whole new, like, you know, line of options for him to be able to, you know, edge guard or continue just fighting with. It's a beautiful thing to see, rather than the ones who just, you know, spin dash around, which all Sonics do, but, you know, it's not all he does. It's not all BluStriker does, and that's why he's here in Losers Finals. It's a beautiful thing to see, my friend. I mean, and I just gotta say, you know, the time for talking is over. Time to push buttons. I can open that. I can open the MHG stream with that. I mean, I can't think of anybody better to have played Eggman than Jim Carrey. Unfortunately, he did not Jim Carrey that movie as much as we all thought he was gonna.
Oh no, I mean, I thought that he was gonna be the only like good thing about it, to be completely honest. And it was fine, you know, like you're not going into the damn Sonic the Hedgehog movie expecting a cinematic opus or anything like that.
It was a really good children's film.
It was a really good children's film. Like, if you're going in like expecting a quote unquote good film, like you're wrong. Like, because it wasn't like good, but it's also a story that you've seen told multiple times, but now they're doing it with Sonic the Hedgehog, and that is good because there are so many bad like video game movies that just do something that's been done a million times that you can't possibly mess up. Just do that.
Exactly. And it wasn't that bad of a video game movie as far as video game movies, though, but just like Super Smash Bros. Melee, the second one will have Tails, so I can't wait to see it.
Exactly. Thank you. No, but it is kind of amazing because now we're seeing this little truck. I mean, almost looking like the little SUV that they were in, that bus here at Town and City for game number 5. I'm not really sure about this stage pick. You're giving Sonic a lot of room with which to operate, but I don't know. The bands must have just made this have to be the stage choice, right?
I would say so. Honestly, I imagine that BluStriker, he most likely banned Smashville and Unova. That's what I'm going to go ahead and take a shot in the dark and guess. You know, because those smaller stages with Sonic on him, he's got less room to run around. And as that backer takes the stock, to run around isn't always a bad thing. In some matchups for Sonic, I would actually say it's better. But against Ryu, you know, a character when he gets a lead can just put out giant, crazy hitboxes that'll kill you at all sorts of wonky percents. Sonic wants room to run away from him. That is why we're at Town and City. I don't imagine anywhere else he would have gone. Battlefield probably wouldn't have been that bad for him because I mean, would have been kind of bad for him because I feel like Sonic can take pretty good utilization of the platforms there. I think Sonic can camp on Battlefield really well, not just with, spin dash, but with up B as well, mixing that in with, lagless down airs to be able to make good usage of the platform to get around. I feel like in terms of getting timed out, that's a pretty bad one. And when you're fighting a Wi-Fi Sonic, you just gotta be careful, of getting timed out. The option of getting timed out is always there. Here, on the other hand, I feel like, Sonic, will live off the top a little bit longer as well, but off the sides is a whole different story. So Ryu still got Tatsumaki, he's got forward smash, he's got focus to be able to start that up. I think this is a much better stage for Sonic in this matchup than it is Ryu, so I'm a little surprised. that MonopolyMan decided to go here, but evidently this guy doesn't care about matchups. He doesn't care about nothing. He knows the matchups, and now he's out here to show you how much he does know them regardless of the stage. So, gonna be honest with you, Stu, not exactly sure why we picked Town and City. I would have expected Final Destination on the part of MonopolyMan if that wasn't banned. But hey, we don't know for a fact what BluStriker banned. Point is, we're here on Town and City for the final game of Losers Finals. BluStriker looking very poised to potentially take it.
It's just FD with more non-interactivity platforms, but here we are. MonopolyMan down to his last stock, and you saw that little pause. He realizes it. This game 5, this set that he has fought so valiantly, at times dominantly. Like, it really did feel like this was MonopolyMan's set at certain points throughout this whole thing. I'm not really sure a spot against WebJP in the final, and certainly you want to prove yourself. Both of these gentlemen looking for revenge against WebJP. MonopolyMan losing to the Lucas Main, I believe, in semis, and obviously BluStriker in winners final. But really focusing on that, you got to crawl before you walk. And MonopolyMan, he's got to take the stock off of BluStriker before he can even think of advancing, especially sitting at 130. BluStriker, he's doing everything that he needs to do.
And what he's doing, my friend, is taking good utilization of the long width of Town and City. The fact that the stage basically is FD, but the game is...
There you go.
Now. Dude, look, we saw how winners finals went.
Yep.
Oh, we saw the comeback. We saw the comeback facing the timeout. This is a much bigger time, man. 171%. Not going to say anything about eating the plant puppet because I've seen crazier upsets happen in my life. But the point is, this is looking really, really, really rough for MonopolyMan.
Oh, but
back 30.
This is how you start, though. Yeah, you eat it easily. You're carrying that 30. Nothing is impossible. We know this. We have seen this. It makes you wonder. I mean, even this is a little beyond the pale. He's knocked into the corner, but he survives. And he misjudges the recovery. He was scared away by the spring. And BluStriker will make it into grands in MonopolyMan. Oh, your heart goes out to him. It, honest to goodness, does, because you saw that he had the play in mind. That is not how you wanted it to end. That's not how you wanted it to end for MonopolyMan. Here's what wound up being the second stock, for MonopolyMan, and then eventually, yeah, he was forced to take another angle lest he be caught up high. Otherwise, there was a forward smash waiting for him, and we know it. But yeah, that was the exact place that the spring had to be to scare him away from the platform, or